Now, in an education management, it also helps in achieving group goals. Now, what are the group goals? It arranges the factors of production, assembles and organizes the resources, integrates the resources in effective manner to achieve the goals. It directs the group efforts towards achievement of predetermined goals. Now, what in this case of management it is, it helps in achieving group goals. Management is not about single but about group goals. Now, what do I mean by the term group goals? Group goals means the objective of the enterprise as a whole, or objective to complete a project as a whole, objective to do a job as a whole. It is not an individual effort but a combined effort. It arranges the factors of production run by different people, assembling done by different people, and organizing the resources, integration of the resources in an effective manner to achieve the goals, that is, to perform the task. It directs the group efforts towards achievement of predetermined goals. The management uses optimum utilization of resources. That is, management utilizes all the physical and human resources productively. This leads to efficacy in management. And we can say the management is leads to optimum utilization of resources, and management utilizes all the physical and human resources productively. This leads to efficacy in management. What efficiency in management? Optimum means how much utilization of the resources are you making for optimum profit purposes. This is actually is known as utilization of resources in a very efficient manner. Now, otherwise, we would not call that a very efficient utilization. Then we have to reduce costs. So management is there to reduce costs. Now, how does it reduce costs? It reduces costs as it gets maximum results through maximum input by proper planning. If you do not plan properly, you might end up with building within the when constructing a building, you might end up ordering more raw materials than you need, and rest of the raw materials would go to waste. So you need to calculate and plan the supply of raw materials, the supply of labor and everything, so that nothing is wasted, because at the end you are going to have to pay for everything. So if you are going to waste it and pay for it, then rather control the process of paying or control the process of buying. And this is done by using minimum input and getting maximum output. So what the process generally used to use the out minimum of the input, minimum of the raw materials, in order to get the maximum of the desired output. So that the minimum of now this thing has to be kept in mind, that while doing this, there is no compromise on quality or the structure of that particular material. The management uses physical, human, and financial resources in such a manner so the best combination helps in cost reduction. Now, cost reduction can be obtained through physical or human resources. How this is done? Say previously a particular object was made by manual system. Now that particular object is made by, say, printed circuit boards for a mobile phone. Previously, initially it was made by hand. Now it is made by computerized machines. So that leads to per unit cost, lower per unit cost for that particular board. And more finer units can be made, more better products can be made. And financial resources means a person, if he's working, now he will get warranty after 8 hours. Say he'll have to need a different shift, whereas a machine can work effortlessly for 24 hours, and you can start and switch off the machine as and when you require. So there is no intermittent stage, no wastage stage, no idle time in between these production times. So the effort and the process is seamless and gives us the best combination which can be used, the automatic, semi-automatic, and manual processes. All these three gives us the best combination that helps in cost reduction. Remember, we cannot use automated process everywhere. Remember, we cannot use semi-automated everywhere. We cannot use manual processes everywhere. So there are certain processes which needs to be fully automated, certain can be semi-automated, and certain can be automated. So if it is possible to automate certain processes, we'll do that and reduce our costs for that energy for that particular product is semi-automated, and then keep the rest of the part manual as it is. And financial resources, because finance plays a very good part. So if you are using all three manual resources, the all finance concern will always be high. But however, if we are going in for total computerized resources or total automated resources, then the first time we are doing that installing of the machine, automated machines and all that, that first time cost will be very high. It means the company might have to take loan for this automated production system, and then the company might have to go in for other purposes and all that. So that is what is known as physical and human resources. So that is what is basically known as the financial portion, that you have to take a big finance risk now for lower rates in the future, or lower cost in the future, or continue as it is. Because if you're taking that big financial risk now, you have to assume the cost per unit will decrease, because if you're taking a loan, you'll have to pay the interest, but the profit per unit will have to be more, and the sales will have to remain the same or increase, so that you can pay off this loan. Now this is a risk that the management has to take. Establish a sound organization, no overlapping of efforts, smooth and coordinated functions. The overlapping of efforts always starts from one particular department trying to do more than the other. Say the production department trying to bring in raw materials at the lowest available cost to show how efficient they are, whereas the quality control department or the purchase department will bring raw materials at very lower costs. Now, whereas the production department that uses these raw materials, say they find that these raw materials are not good, and they again order them, they reject some and they order it themselves, at least to keep the production process going on. So this is overlapping of efforts, means they're doing both the departments are getting in each other's way. So what should happen is the production department should set up the quality, the quantity, and the purchase department should buy them. To establish sound organization structure is one of the objective of the management, which is in tune with objective of organization, and for the fulfillment of this, it establishes effective authority and responsibility relationship. It establishes effective authority and responsibility relationship. Means who is responsible for what, how, and when. Who is responsible for what, how, and when. This is the responsibility fixation. That this person is responsible up to this point, this person is responsible for the next job. Establishes equilibrium. Now, it enables the organization to survive in a changing environment. What is a changing environment? The external environment always may change. Initial coordination of the organization must be changed. So if the environment is changing, means the demand for the product is changing, the demand for different kinds of products are arising, so the company has to adjust to the external environment. There might be problems such as we have today, the COVID-19. How does the organization, how does the company respond to that situation? How much resilience it has? It has to establish equilibrium. It has to be at at ease, at peace with the external problems. Because if it does not do so, and if it goes out of sync with the external equilibrium, then the company might even have to close down. So this is how we are saying that external equilibrium means if there's a environment that is internal to the organization, that is the company itself, and external means the external community or the external people that affects the organization. Now we have essentials for prosperity of society. Now, efficient management leads to better economical production. Yes, in increasing the welfare of the people. How do you increase welfare of the people? By producing better economical production. Economical production leads to lower cost goods. Leads to lower cost goods means the people can avail the goods in very low cost and can use them. And this in turn increases the welfare of the people. If you are using that particular good for your purpose and you're satisfied with that lower cost, it will in turn increase not only the sales of the company but also the general well-being of the people. This is all for today. Thank you.